Hi, and welcome to Direct Printing Express, a division of CD's Direct Inc. My name is Rick Ford, and I'd like to take a moment to walk you through how to use our templates. If you go to the website, www.directprintingexpress.com, you can download various templates for all your printing needs. I have opened up a 2-panel insert for a CD jewel case. I have some art that's already been created, and I'd like to show you how to use it. This is a JPEG or a TIFF file, and I'm going to drop it onto my template, or drop it onto the template. So I'm going to bring it over here, drop it onto the template. It was already created to size. So what I've done is I've drug a JPEG over onto the template in Illustrator. Now, on the website, you'll find both Illustrator files, PDF files, EPS files, and PSD files. You can use any of these files in order to set up your artwork. What I'd like you to look at is I've taken this artwork, which was actually created in Photoshop. I've drug it over and dropped it onto the template. I'd like to point out several things here. See the red line right here? This red line is the bleed line. Bleed line is where we're going to physically cut the paper. Notice how close this text right here is to the bleed line, or to the cut line. If we cut this, we could be cutting off a portion of these words. We could also be cutting off part of this and part of the 06 here. When you're creating artwork, you always want to make sure that you leave yourself ample room. I'm just going to reduce the size of this file a little bit, put it up in here, and now you can see all of the text is within the green border, or the safe zone. If I actually reduce the size of this, now everything is within the green line, or the safe zone. The red line, again, is the cut line. But notice there's no bleed. The area, the background image should come out to this black line. You want your art to come out here so that when we cut on this red line, we're physically cutting on color. It's very, very difficult to try to cut on that line and have it cut exactly without leaving a white edge. That's why we put bleed, or put a bleed onto our artwork. Now we could, if we wanted to use this artwork, I'll shrink it back in here a little bit. We could go in and say, oh, we want this, all the text, everything is within the green area now. So we could drop a black border around this if we don't want to go back in and try to recreate the artwork. We'll just choose a color, drop a black border in, object, arrange, send to back. And now we've made this artwork usable. We have a black area, so when we cut on the red line, we're now cutting on color, and there's no way that we're going to get into the text, because all the text is within that green safe zone. Now, what could happen in this scenario is when we cut, it could cut right here, which means you'd have a little bit of a black border around the outside, or on the outside edge of this red backdrop. That's why when you're creating your artwork, you always want to take your background image and bring it all the way out to your bleed. Bring it out here, and bring it out here. Then place your text so that it stays within the green area. Once you're done with that, you can just save it out as an AI file. You can save it out as a high resolution TIFF file. You go File, Save As. What do we want to save it at? Well, in this case, this is the back of an insert. So I would save it as a 2-panel insert and call it back. you might want to put the name of the project on there as well. In this case, it's the CDs Direct. So now when you upload your artwork, we'll know that the insert, it's the back panel to the insert, and the project name is CDs Direct. Then you would hit save. When you're saving, you always want to save out at 300 dpi. So let's go here and take a look at our settings. We can create PDF compatible files, use our compression. Always set your resolution. You want to include linked files. And you're going to say, okay. Now that file is saved and we're good to go. Now you have a usable working file. This particular one isn't, because we have to get that text back inside those green lines. So we could use that. Now let's take a look at a couple other ones. Notice it says bleed artwork to the outside line. So your background image is always going to come out to this outside border. Here's your cut lines, and here's your safe zone where you're going to keep the text. Let's take a look at another insert. Let's say a front insert and see what it looks like. We'll bring it over here, we'll drag it onto our layer, and we'll put it up onto our template. Again, when you're creating this stuff, if you're creating in Photoshop, which we'll cover in another issue, create your working area as a 5" by 5" working area. Notice again, see this text here? The D and the 1 are outside of the safe zone. This, the, B, L, V, and those words there, going to get completely cut off. It's way too close to the cut line. Notice this. This is inside or outside the safe zone. This FBI sticker is outside the safe zone. There's a lot of this artwork that's going to get cut off. Now again, if we want to try to save the artwork or use the artwork, we can always go in and pick some type of a black border or a colored border, depending on the color of your artwork. Obviously, you want it to blend in. We can shrink this down to our actual cut size. Go back in again, put a backdrop in behind it, move it to the rear, send it to the back. Now we've created, again, a usable file. In this case, he's got a lot of black, so we could, in fact, use a black border in order to do this. This would be totally acceptable. Notice all your text and all your lines are now within the green border. You're still a little bit out here. You might want to reduce this down a little bit. But for the most part, all of your text is within the cut line. There's your cut line. Your safe line is here. And that's it. Again, save it out. Save it out with a file name. Preferably if it's a back, you would save it out as back, and the name of the project. And your front file would be the same way. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope this is helpful. If you need help, please feel free to call us, CDs Direct. Our telephone number is 760-747-2734, or look for other videos on the website at both cdsdirectinc.com and directprintingexpress.com. Again, thank you.